Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to tackle a core concept in IB economics, price elasticity of demand, or PED. This concept helps us understand how consumers respond to price changes, and it's fundamental for analysing markets and business decisions. By the end of this video, you'll know how PED is calculated, its determinants, and how it affects revenue and taxation. So let's dive in. First, what is price elasticity, PED? PED measures the responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a good to changes in its price. We calculate it using the formula. PED equals the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. For example, if the price of a product goes up by 10%, and the quantity demanded decreases by 20%, the PED would be minus 20% divided by 10% equals minus 2. PED is always negative because of the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, but we typically ignore the negative sign and focus on the absolute value. Now, what does the PED coefficient tell us? If price elasticity of demand is less than 1, demand is inelastic. This means that consumers aren't very responsive to price changes. Examples include necessities like bread or gasoline. If price elasticity of demand is greater than 1, demand is elastic, meaning consumers are very responsive to price changes. Luxury goods like high-end electronics fall into this category. If price elasticity of demand equals 1, we have unitary elasticity, where the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in price. In extreme cases, if price elasticity of demand is infinite, the demand is perfectly elastic. Any increases in price will lead to zero quantity demanded. On the other hand, if price elasticity of demand is 0, demand is perfectly inelastic, meaning that no matter how much the price changes, the quantity demanded stays the same. Life-saving medications, for example, often have perfectly inelastic demand. Now, let's look at the factors that affect price elasticity of demand. The acronym SPLAT, S-P-L-A-T, will help you remember the key determinants. 1. Substitutes. The more substitutes a product has, the more elastic its demand will be. For example, if the price of Coca-Cola rises, many people will switch to Pepsi or another soft drink. 2. Proportion of income. Goods that take up a large proportion of a consumer's income tend to have more elastic demand. For example, a car is more price sensitive than a bottle of water. 3. Luxury or necessity. Necessities tend to have inelastic demand, while luxuries have more elastic demand. You need basic foods, but you can delay buying a new smartphone if the price increases. 4. Addictiveness. Addictive products, like cigarettes, often have inelastic demand because consumers will keep buying them despite price changes. 5. Time to respond. Over the long term, consumers can adjust to price changes, making demand more elastic. For example, if gasoline prices rise, people may continue driving in the short term, but over time, they might buy more fuel-efficient cars or switch to public transportation. Price elasticity of demand along a demand curve. One interesting thing is that it varies along the demand curve. At higher prices and lower quantities, demand is more elastic. That is, price elasticity of demand is greater than 1. This is because a small percentage change in price represents a significant change in how much consumers have to spend, so they're more sensitive to price fluctuations. At lower prices and higher quantities, demand tends to be more inelastic. Price elasticity of demand is less than 1. When prices are already low, changes in price don't significantly impact how much consumers buy. This variation is important for firms when they consider pricing strategies, especially when it comes to maximising revenue. Speaking of revenue, let's explore the relationship between price elasticity of demand and total revenue. Total revenue is calculated as price times quantity. When demand is elastic, greater than 1, lowering the price increases total revenue because the increase in quantity demanded outweighs the drop in price. When demand is inelastic or less than 1, increasing the price raises total revenue because consumers will continue buying the product despite the higher price. At unit elasticity, which equals 1, total revenue is maximised. This is a critical point for firms trying to set the optimal price for their products. Now, let's consider what price elasticity of demand means for agricultural producers. Agricultural goods like wheat or corn often have inelastic demand. This is because they are necessities and there are limited substitutes for them. For farmers, this can be good and bad. If there is a poor crop yield, prices may rise due to scarcity. But since demand is inelastic, the quantity demanded won't drop significantly, meaning farmers can still maintain or even increase their revenues despite producing less. On the other hand, in times of overproduction, prices fall, but demand doesn't increase much, leading to revenue losses. Finally, let's look at how price elasticity of demand affects the impact of indirect taxes, such as sales tax, on different products. When a product has elastic demand, consumers are very sensitive to price changes. If the government imposes a tax, the higher price will cause demand to drop sharply, pretty much making the tax less effective. However, when a product has inelastic demand, like gasoline or cigarettes, consumers continue to buy the good even after the tax increases the price. As a result, the government can collect more tax revenue from inelastic goods. For example, the high taxes on cigarettes in many countries don't drastically reduce consumption because they're addictive, but they generate significant government revenue. In summary, price elasticity of demand is a key concept that measures how responsive consumers are to price changes. It's calculated by comparing the percentage change in quantity demanded with the percentage change in price. We explored how price elasticity of demand varies based on factors like substitutes, income, and whether the product is a necessity or luxury. We also discussed how price elasticity of demand affects revenue and taxation, particularly for agricultural products and goods with differing elasticities. Understanding price elasticity of demand is essential for businesses, governments, and consumers, as it helps predict how markets will react to price changes and how resources will be allocated. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ask any questions in the comment below. See you in the next video.